The Eberechi Eze rumours to Arsenal just won't go away, so let's talk about it. Let's get into this. So one of the things that I keep seeing reported over the past day or so is that despite the fact that we're putting in a bid for Noni Madueke at £50 million, Eberechi Eze still remains a big target for the Arsenal, and this is something that is kind of getting me to scratch my head a little bit. Now, the reason I say that is nothing to do with the player himself. Eberechi Eze for me is a dream signing. He is a player that I enjoy watching. His profile in terms of his playing style, what he does, I love it, and a lot of Arsenal fans love it. But the question mark for me is, how do we even get this to happen? Because Eberechi Eze has a release clause that's close to £17 million, so we have been told. And there's been some reporting to suggest that there may be a compromise by Palace through negotiations between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. But we're potentially spending £50 million on Noni Madueke. The Gyökeres deal is still going, into negotiations, and that could be, 60 to 70 million pounds for him. And Martin Zubimendi has finally made his way over, which again was another £50 million deal. So you can see where I'm going with this. How have we, along with Norgard as well, which is another £10 million, we're well in excess of the 150 mark for all of the signings that we're either making or have made or potentially are making. So with a £70 million player, or around about that figure, how is that going to happen? For me, it's either one of two things. One, we just have a pot of cash that no one even thought about, knew about, reported on, and we're just splashing that cash to revamp this squad because it does need revamping to a degree. Or is it the case that we're going to see key players leave? Because both of these two have been linked with moves away from the club. I think of the two, the more likely is looking like Leandro Trossard, because when we're talking about the negotiation of his contract, it's not for an extension, it's actually just an improvement on terms. So basically better pay. And we've seen with Trossard, there's reports of a £15 million bid or interest from Fenerbahce. And this is someone that could very easily be part of the exodus of players that we see at the football club. Not to mention, you've also got players like Alexander Zinchenko, Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, Lokonga could be one of those parties as well. So we're seeing potential outgoings, but even with that, would it be enough to cover the cost of Eze? The answer is potentially, but you would have to sell and sell well, and it would have to be, I would think, all of those players. But look, my opinion is I'd love to see this happen, and I think a lot of you would agree with that. But football is nothing but opinions, and these are just my opinions on how we could possibly sign Eze. I want to know what your opinions are. Do you think it's possible? Let me know.